was Australian professional wrestling champion while working in the ballet. Yeah, that was they used that in the ballet as the for my interviews as the hook.
Yeah, that's absolutely incredible. Hang on, this is Pete Koch breaking it down with actor and bodybuilder and ballet dancer. Who knew? Conan Stevens. Don't go away. We'll be right back. All right. Hey guys, Pete Koch here breaking it down with Conan Stevens. And he's got quite an interesting story. This is part 2, right? I'm going to link below part 1. If you hadn't seen that, make sure you check it out. Share it with your friends that are interested in bodybuilding and acting. In part 1, we really broke down what is going into the mind of Conan Stevens at 7 feet tall, one of the tallest bodybuilders that the world has seen, and he's got a remarkable physique. And at your peak, by the way, thanks for joining me. At your peak, what was at your peak muscular weight? What was your top? What was your biggest size? What'd you weigh?
Okay. Now this is my real actual on the scales weight, not my wrestling weight, because lots of guys put their wrestling weights on and it's a little bit disingenuous. Okay, my top weight was 148 kilo, which was 335 or 336 pound. My heaviest was 154. It was 348. Sorry, was my heaviest actual body weight, but I was a bit fat then. That was when I was a bit younger.
All right, so we're going to say you had but you were feeling really, really strong at 335.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you weigh now?
Only 285 at the moment.
285.
I weighed myself today at the scale. I don't like scales, but the ones that goals actually work. So I weighed myself, and I was a bit horrified. I need to work out a bit harder.
285 right now. This is solid. This is solid, guys. But
my wrestling weight was 400 pounds.
Is that what you were listed at?
Yeah. So it's easy. No one. You watch the wrestling, everyone gets a bit excited.
Yeah. Did that act as an advantage to you when you sort of transitioned into full-time acting?
Yes, I did the wrestling actually, and I also did time with the Australian version of the National Guard, like part-time army in Australia, because I needed to learn how to do this stuff, and there's nowhere to learn. Where can you get an M60 and get to? Well, the army paid me to learn the M60 and how to do all the stuff I wanted to do for action movies, and I did the wrestling for the same reason, because I saw it as a way to get popular, and once I was famous like Hulk Hogan, I could move across into movies. Unfortunately, the wrestling got sidelined and I had to go another way to get into the acting, but once I got in the acting, I could do my own stunts. I actually started off in doing stunts.
You know, I've had a chance to work with Shakespearean trained actors. I was the strength and conditioning coach and trainer for Joseph Fiennes a few years ago. Joseph, who's a wonderful guy. His big brother is Ray Fiennes, a couple of Brits, but Joe was a heck of a guy. And I asked him about his training, and he was a classically trained Shakespearean actor. And I said, tell me a little bit about what you do at the university level at that. And he talked about lots of combat stage fighting, and then there was the foil and the saber, and they learned these different implements. Yeah. And I said, how'd you feel about all that training? He said it just created for him such a rounded athlete that he could bring that, and he said it was really completed his education as an actor.
That would go with the dance training too, yeah, for the stage combat.
Yeah, and we talked about this in part 1 that Conan was a part of a theater group. Dance group.
Dance troupe, yeah.
Dance troupe. That's the proper lingo, and a professional ballet dancer.
I pretended I could dance. People believed it. Good enough.
And so you're putting together at this time, and you're in your really formative years, and you're in my just listening to the story for the first time, you're really pulling together all the incredibly important attributes that are going to benefit you as you kind of matriculate into acting. Right. So where did it go from there?
Basically, I moved to Thailand on the chance that I could get 3 days stunt work. And I met the assistant director, and he was telling me about another movie they're making with Nathan Jones, the big Hollywood star. And I said, so who's going to be the bad guy? And they go, oh, we don't know, we're going to cast some Muay Thai guy. And I stood up and I said, who else is a believable enemy for a 7-foot giant wrestler except another 7-foot giant wrestler? And he's gone, oh, I'll be right back. And he ran out of the room. And 5 minutes later, he come back in, like, your phone number, your email. So we've got round to
shooting. You got the part.
Yeah, I got the part for the 3 days where I got shot and fall over, which was good. I got to learn the industry a little bit more, and I met a few people. I talked my way into that movie, which didn't actually get shot for another about 3 years. But still, I was the first one they called when they got around to it. That was sometime, or the US release name was Muay Thai Giant. And we had a big fight with Nathan at the end. We destroyed an aeroplane, which is actually a pretty cool scene. And after that, so I first got to Thailand. I got that role. I did it. Casting for a TV commercial. I got the casting for the TV commercial. At the TV commercial, I met a French fellow. He called me a couple of days later and said to my father, "Is the producer, would you like to come for the audition for the pirate movie?" So I went to the audition, got the part in the pirate movie, did 6 weeks floating around on a replica boat in the, in the seas off southern Thailand. Like most people pay for this, and we're just like, oh, this is awesome.
So were you out at sea?
Yeah, out at sea.
You didn't come back
every night we come back, yeah. But we're floating around in a replica pirate boat, and we're only featured pirates and stunts, so we weren't really required to be doing much, so we had a really good time, to be honest. There's no stress at all. And
good times.
Then I come back off that and I got another TV commercial, national TV commercial for Thailand, like then 2 weeks after that. And then I was rather excited about it. The other guys had just done Alexander, that big budget movie, and they'd done a couple other. It was really busy at the time, just before I got there. And then they had a military coup, and when there are tanks in the streets, it makes it a bit hard to get insurance to film.
So the country where you're cultivating your acting career, and it's really starting to take off, the country, the government has a meltdown.
Yep. And the army are in the streets, and that they took power for a bit, and then it normalised. And after about a year, the movie started coming back and started picking up, and then they had another coup. So basically a counter coup, and that continued the whole time I was there. But that's Thailand, and if you look at the history, it's not unusual.
At what point are you thinking, I want to take this acting career? Are you? I don't know. Are you thinking take it back to Australia or come to the U.S.
No,
come to Hollywood?
It's always been Hollywood. Hollywood's for anyone overseas. Hollywood's the holy grail. And being here now, and I've got my work visa approved, is like a big step for anyone outside of America. A lot of Australians dream, and they come over for pilot season knowing they're not going to get any work, but they just go to the castings and just enjoy it and just experience the excitement. Whereas I didn't do that. I thought it would be better if I waited. My plan was, once I found Thailand was a good place to stay, my plan was to build up in Asia and come as the like the top talent in Asia to come over here. And I built myself up in Thailand. As far as I could possibly go. I worked in the biggest budget movie of the year in India.
What was that?
Drona. Didn't do very well, but it was the biggest budget movie ever made in India, that one. And then was it a year after that or 2 years after that, I did the biggest budget movie of the year in China, and then I did the biggest budget movie again in India, and that was Warner Brothers' first test on the Hindi language market. So that was my first studio movie. So that was good, because there's a saying that you don't work in a studio movie until you worked in a studio movie. So I might have slipped in the back door on that one.
Yeah. Tell me, where and how does it happen that you get cast in Game of Thrones?
That was to do with my website. There was a fan of the book series wrote to me and told me that there was talk that the pilot or the show may go, the book series may go into a TV series, and there was an 8 foot tall character. So I wrote on my website and SEO'd it, so search engine optimized it for Google to rate in the top 3 if you search for Sir Gregor Clegane, the 8 foot tall mountain that rides. So you'd find my webpage. And then when things started heating up, the fans got excited and they're searching all the characters. And of course, when they search Sir Gregor, they find me. And because these guys have read 6 books this thick, I actually get emails, like properly structured, interesting emails. So I'd reply as such, and made friends with some of the fans.
Where were they from, these fans?
All over the world, English speaking, but all over the world. America, England, Ireland. And then when the show was greenlit for the pilot, I got emails saying I should try to get on it, but I looked at it and there was Sir Gregor wasn't in the pilot. So I looked and saw they were trying to cast they're trying to find like a Maori or something, like a big tall brown skinned guy. And if I go to the beach, I sort of get brown skin. So I called up the casting in Australia, and I sent off a previous audition I did for another movie, and they accepted it and asked me to send in a tape for this. It was the part that Jason Momoa ended up getting. So I actually auditioned for the same part, and I knew I was an absolute last resort. But then later on,
Jason Momoa had that great part where he kind of kidnaps Khaleesi and marries her, and she kills him. Okay. Yeah. So you read for that, but
I didn't play.
All wasn't lost.
I didn't read it as that. I read it as Sir Gregor. I didn't really. Oh. I did the lines, and I took my shirt off and pumped up, and I got my friend who's 5'11", 200 pounds, to stand next to me to show the size, and basically I was auditioning for Gregor.
Got it.
So a bit later, they had the producers had a questionnaire on the website, on the fan site, who would be the best for each of these main character roles, and at that stage 95% of the fans were behind me. So that was the secret.
This is a great story. You created your own internet buzz through your website, through tagging.
And
it's awesome. But you couldn't have done it if you hadn't appeared in a bunch of movies beforehand. So you already had a toehold in Hollywood, sort of, right? Well, internationally.
Internationally, I had a reputation. I have worked for Warner Brothers before, and they were big movies, even though none of them were really successful. They were all big movies.
But let's finish that thought. I didn't mean to cut you off. So they reach out to you, the folks that are producing Game of Thrones, and they say, was there another audition? Did you have to fly to them, or did they?
No, they didn't. They auditioned for the role of Sir Gregor, and I didn't get an email or anything, and I was a little bit concerned. And I was trying to figure out how to. I was on the internet every day, just trying to figure out what's the best way, who was casting, where I could get my foot in with someone I actually knew. I could walk up, hi, so I've actually got my foot in the door, so I'm not cold calling, because they don't really take them, and something big like that. And then just when I was sort of freaking out, I got an email. Oh, you've read for us before. We liked your audition. How would you like the role? And
there it was.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the people downstairs who were night shift weren't very happy that morning. 300-pound giant jumping around like a little kid. So that was my breakout of the Asian cinema.
And how soon later were you? Where'd you go? Where'd you shoot your stuff?
We shot that in Northern Ireland, which was very nice. Being Australian, we had a lot of Irish sent over in chains. So it was very similar sort of culture. It was good. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, good experience.
Yeah,
that's the best. Show's the best. You were awesome in that. And what was next? What happened?
From there, basically, I spoke to my agent at the time, who was very difficult to contact the Hobbit, and we had a bit of an argument over that. Which basically I ended up saying, if you're not going to call him, I'll call him myself, and you won't get a check. That was a polite version.
You're a polite man.
I won't go into the rest of it, but yeah.
No, okay. So, but the next thing you know, you're on. We all seen you now.
So basically, Peter Jackson saw me and they got me over and I got the part. And when I got there, I asked Sir Richard Taylor, head of Weta, why did you choose me? He said, because you're big and you're strong, and we can do whatever we want to you, and you can still move. Because we've had a big guy, a tall guy before, but he wasn't strong. And when we put the costume on him, it was comically slow. So he said, we saw you, and oh my God, perfect for a.
For the character, listen, it's got cat's casting.
Yes, well, I can fight no matter what they put on me. So they went wild. They had no restrictions on the designs. So that was the reason. And my first movie was Man Thing. I was a swamp monster, so I'd already done a full suit job before, so I'd had the experience.
Yeah. How was it working with Peter Jackson?
That was brilliant, because I read The Hobbit as a child, and that's what destroyed my life. So, according to my mum, because I didn't go on to be a doctor or a lawyer or, at university, I decided I started playing role-playing games, and this is why I'm interested in the fantasy and science fiction genre today. It's just what I like to work in.
Yeah, me too. I mean, you've done lots of period pieces, and are you attracted to that?
Yeah, that's what I watch. So it's what I want. And it's not a stretch to do the characters. It's easy and something you actually like.
I mean, look at that face. You got this great big beard in this face. I think honestly, it's who you are. It's what you can. Not everybody has got that sort of rugged look that you've got. So I would say your size, your face, and it's an amalgam. That's what actors are, right? We cannot. I mean, there's some guys that can really kind of be amorphous, but I think at the end of the day, sort of organically, what we are right here. And what you bring to your characters with your physical presence is it's unique to Hollywood. It's unique in the world. I mean, it's just not Hollywood casting. This is worldwide casting.
Yeah, this is also that was the other thing. Yeah. We're coming right at the end of the casting for The Hobbit and got on it, so that was extremely lucky. A quick point. This is the fun bit. Peter looked at my casting tape. And we'll make a decision next week. Oh no, we haven't had time. We'll make a decision next week. Oh, we're going on hiatus for 3 months. We'll call you back.
Oh no. That's cruel.
So 3 months later, no fingernails left. I got the okay, but that was really stressful 3 months, to be honest, because I'm pretty sure I was in. Yeah. I just didn't have the final.
Who's your favorite actor?
I like Tom Hanks.
Me too. Yeah.
Everything he does he does it. That's believable.
It's honest. Yeah, I think he's our generation's greatest, most realistic actor. I think he's very special.
Also, Grutch, seeing his silly early movies and seeing him grow from there. So, the other person who was always a role model for me was Dolph Lundgren. I've worked with him twice now, so that was really special for me.
Yeah, I believe it.
Because he was a doorman in Sydney when I was working as a security guard in Sydney. It was the Dolph Lundgren got Grace Jones met him and took him away, and he became a big hot. Yeah, the story's a lot better than the actual history. The truth is, he actually did get a bit part in a Bond film, decided he liked after I spoke to him, and then he went to acting school and he worked his butt off, and that's how he got into the act. It wasn't all this magical meeting and magical, as everyone in the industry knows, these overnight successes are backed by 20 years of doing the work.
Yeah, and Dolph Lundgren is very busy.
Right now, he's working a lot.
Yeah, and probably he's got a boost from the Expendables series, I imagine. But rightly so.
Most definitely.
Yeah, because I love those.
That's where Sly is really cool. I have not met him, but the fact he brought all these guys in and gave their careers a second lease is all these old mates and guys he's worked with, and that's really that's honourable.
Yeah, Sly's he's okay. I haven't met him myself, but he's okay in my book. And do you know Frank Stallone?
No.
I'm going to introduce you to him.
Oh, that'd be
his
cool.
brother. Yeah, he's a heck of a guy. But tell folks how they can get a hold of you.
All right, just go to conanstevens.com and there's tons of information and links to everything else from there. So you can email me direct as well. I respond to everything unless you're asking for something with a 3-word email. Like, get me on a movie. I ignore those. Anything else I respond to.
Okay. So this Conan Stevens, hit him up. He's going to answer your questions. Like you said, just give him a cool question or comment. I appreciate your comments here, whether you've checked me out on YouTube or you've arrived at this through Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. Comments are welcome. And Conan, thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Yeah, this is Pete Koch breaking it down. We'll see you next time.